stay and, maybe not go elsewhere for a potential head job?
Like I said, I love it here. I got a great group of coaches that Bruce has put together. We got some good players. They're great to work with. I love the area and the camaraderie. So it's not about being the head coach. It's about being the best coach and the chance to succeed and be happy. And I'm happy here.
Do you have desire to be a head coach again someday, do you think?
I have the desire to get my team ready. I don't look for the next job. You look for the next job, you don't do the job you have. If something comes up at the end of the year, then that's a discussion. Right now, it's the furthest thing from my mind.
Will Golston said that he's the type of coach I'd run through a brick wall for. What does it mean to be able to have the support and the buy-in from all those types of guys? He's not the only one that's come up here and sang your praises.
I think they need to get a concussion check then. So, no, but we have trust on both sides of the ball with the coaches and the players. We coach them hard, and they understand it's not personal, and they respond. They make mistakes, we correct them. We make mistakes, they correct us. So, it's a lot of open dialogue and a lot of trust, and we kind of build from there.
What's the biggest development in defense that you've seen over the course of camp so far?
Just the maturity in situational football. We have a lot of guys. Last year, I think they just played what I called, and this year is trying to be more understanding of why I'm calling things and what's happening in certain situations. So we're really trying to focus on that.
Have there been instances in this training camp where you think back to last year, maybe it's a DB making a play on the ball, but you're like, that guy this time last year would not have made that play. This guy's playing with a lot more confidence and a lot more understanding, has a lot more understanding of what I'm asking.
Well, they're playing with a lot more confidence, that's for sure. And we're working on the understanding of each guy's individual position and how it pertains to them. So, the awareness is there. We just got to make sure we keep grinding at it. They're not going to get it in a week or two, so we got to keep working at it. But nobody in particular, as far as not expecting them where to be. I think their growth last year throughout the course of the season was more of a telltale than these 2 weeks of camp.
Todd, what do you think so far about Ross Cockrell, seeing him at safety?
He makes a lot of plays. Ross is a very bright player. He's played corner and nickel. He understands safety because he understands what the corner and the nickel is supposed to be doing. So that gives him a leg up there. We'll still be interested to see in live tackling and everything else. But he has a great understanding of the game. He's very versatile, and he's a good piece to use.
Along those same lines of what I just asked you, seeing more of the growth last year, and that kind of coincides with what Jamel Dean was telling us. Like all of a sudden, after that bye week, we just blew up. Is there a play or a moment or plays last year that stick out to you where you're like, this guy wouldn't have done this last year? This really kind of signifies the start of some real growth here.
No, just Dean seeing the three-step, understanding the three-step. I think a year ago, he couldn't acknowledge that, so we had to do a couple different things not to let him in that situation. This year in that situation, he's seeing it like a true corner from a growth standpoint, and, that showed a big step forward there, but he got to keep working.
Todd, how's Vita Vea looking, and what's the potential impact of having him around for 17 games?
I think it's big for us because Vita, he not only eats up double teams, he beats double teams. I think he's been having a good camp thus far. He's got good ways to go. His understanding of the defense has grown immensely since last year, and we look forward to having him for 17 weeks and being a presence. But we still got to develop guys just in case. I thought Nacho and Steve do a great job as well. So, but Vita's big for us.
Todd, your secondary, I think you got probably 3 corners and 3 safeties that you know and trust. Beyond Ross, who else has shown you something for the depth there?
Well, that's to remain to be seen in the preseason games. Right now, with 7-on-7 and not tackling, you really can't tell. I'm looking forward to them having preseason games this year. Not just this year's crop, but last year's crop as well that didn't have a preseason. So the growth for those guys in preseason are going to be big.
Are you set on kind of the guys you have as starters? I mean, we've seen Ross Cockrell, three interceptions, we've seen Mike Edwards get his hand on a lot of balls. Are you set on the guys you have? Is there the door open for either of those guys to possibly crack some starting roles?
When I was a player, the door was always open for anybody to take a spot. You have to make me notice you, and as coaches, you have to show yourself when we put you out there to make plays in certain situations. So you're the starter until somebody plays better than you and replaces you. If nobody plays better than you, you're probably going to be the starter.
How rare is it to have an inside linebacker? You got a couple of them, obviously. Have an inside linebacker that can rush the passer, 9 sacks last year, big plays.
No, he's still capable of a lot more, but it's a luxury to have a guy that can play 3 downs and play everything well, you know. And as far as body position and understanding run schemes and everything else, he's gotten a lot better at all those things, but he still needs to grow more, and he should because it's only going into his 3rd year. But it's a luxury to have both those guys that can do all those things, and you don't have to worry about bad matchups.
Now that he's had a few days in pads, how is Joe Tryon progressing?
He's coming along fine. You know, he's learned the scheme. It's not an easy scheme to learn for him, so we're trying to put him in different positions and move him around. But you still like to see him in preseason. But, you know, he's got some tools. He got a toolkit. He showed that in college. You love the build and the size. He's very intelligent. He's tough. He's smart. He just has to learn the scheme. And, you know, if you can play in this scheme, we'll find a place for you.
How would you assess his ability to drop into coverage?
He's a good athlete, you know, until you leave him out there forwards for 7-on-7. I'm not crazy. I'm not just going to drop my outside backers into coverage full time. They might get a few drops, but, you know, I know where their bread is buttered, but he is a very good athlete.
Todd, how fortunate do you feel to have your starters back? And from a coaching standpoint, your assistants back? How big is that?
It's great to have the starters back, and more importantly, it's the assistants because you don't have to coach coaches or teach anybody. Bruce has done a great job giving us situational football over the past couple weeks and as well as last year, and putting every coach in the situation where they have to think. So it's not just for the players, it's for the coaches as well. And to have the same chemistry and the coaching staff back on both sides of the ball, I think is big.
What kind of things are you looking for from Antoine Whitfield from year 1 to year 2?
Just the mental growth of the game. We both know he left some plays out there on the field last year. He's doing his job and playing his position, but he can expand on that, and he will, and he has already some in camp. Just knowing the overall defense and knowing where he can cheat and take advantage of his plays and not just use his athletic ability.